When I first saw Trek to Yomi, I was immediately drawn in by its old school black and white film art style. But when I saw the gameplay, I was a little bit put off. I didn't feel like I needed a 2D samurai game.
I was wrong though. I was pretty f***ing wrong. This game's pretty f***ing good. Pretty f***ing good. Trek to Yomi is a very unique experience in its visuals and storytelling. You won't really find anything else like it on the market. Or at least, not anything I've heard of or played myself.
The visuals of the game clearly draw heavy inspiration from Akira Kurosawa's work, who for those of you who don't know is a legendary Japanese film director who famously made some of the earliest samurai films.
And let me tell you, Trek to Yomi really pull off these visuals. It's to the point that sometimes I forget that I'm even playing a game.
They've even added film scratches and put the whole game in letterbox to really bring it home, and personally, I absolutely love it. What's so magical about it, I suppose, is that since the game plays in a 2.5D environment, the developers could frame each scene with cinematic camera movement, which they've nailed incredibly well. Some of these shots are jaw-droppingly beautiful, but
great cinematography means nothing without a good story.
Initially, I've got to say that while it did capture the samurai film vibe, the story felt a bit cliché, but it quickly had me going from this to this. We take control of the young samurai apprentice Hiroki, and while training with our master, we're interrupted by a horde of bloodthirsty bandits attacking the village. Our master rushes off to defend while commanding us to stay behind.
Naturally though, we don't do this and instead rush after him in an attempt to help.
And help we do, because even though the game makes a big deal of Hiroki's first kill, even awarding us with the achievement Young Blood, he ends up killing like 30 people before catching up with his master.
Yeah, killing people doesn't really seem to faze Hiroki.
Either way, once we catch up with our sensei, we're met with this guy who thinks he's hot shit, but ends up getting his nose sliced off by a kid. This only seems to have made him more angry though. Our master steps in to save us, which he does, but unfortunately gives his life in doing so.
Hashtag samurai origin story.
This whole segment of the game is basically our tutorial where we learn how to engage enemies in combat. And let me be straight with you.
When I first started playing the game, I found the combat extremely clunky.
The idea of it all seemed great, but I couldn't get into the execution of it.
That is until I replayed this entire segment because my Xbox decided not to record it the first time around.
Initially, I went into the combat with the wrong mindset. Trek to Yomi is not a hack and slash game. It is a game with a rich combat system that is as deep as you would like it to be. When you engage in combat, Hiroki locks into the direction he is facing, and to turn around you have to press the A button or your controller equivalent. This initially turned me off to the combat a bit, but after spending some time with it, it started feeling great. We've got light attacks, heavy attacks, and different variations of both depending on which direction you hold the control stick in. During this intro segment, we're met with only one enemy type, which can be taken out consistently with a well-timed block and counterattack. But the combat gets a lot deeper with the introduction of more enemy types and combos. And let me tell you, stringing together a few moves to take out a whole horde of enemies unscathed feels so damn satisfying. And I really think this is how the developers want you to play the game.
Like I said earlier, the combat is as deep as you'd like it to be. Yes, you can cheese it the entire game and take out enemies with parries alone, but I think you'll find a lot more enjoyment in the game if you begin to experiment.
Anyway, back to the plot. As you can tell, this first chapter seems fairly straightforward. In chapter 2, we take control of Hiroki as the head samurai of the village, chasing after another horde of bandits who burnt down a neighboring village. But it's after chapter 2 when the plot really picks up.
Let's just put it this way. Yomi is the Japanese name of the land of the dead. So with the title being Trek to Yomi, I'm sure you can figure out where we're gonna end up.
Inside the land of the dead, the world building is just so damn good, and with every set piece that was presented to me, I just wanted to see what more they could come up with. I mean, just look at this. I love this shit. Yomi also throws a lot more at you than the living world, with all kinds of different enemies that really spice up the combat. With some that can teleport, samurais with floating katanas, wraiths that can summon more enemies, and bosses that instill fear in your heart.
That is if you set the difficulty accordingly. When I first started playing, I played the game on normal, but trust me when I say this game is far more enjoyable if you play it on a high difficulty.
On normal, the combat feels stupid simple thanks to the fact that you can take out pretty much any enemy with a quick, well-timed attack. At higher difficulty settings, you will have to use more brain power to get through combat segments, which I really think makes it more enjoyable. I would recommend the highest difficulty setting since that's what I ended up changing it to, but I'm sure the middle setting could be right for you too.
Now, would I have played Trek to Yomi if it wasn't on Game Pass? Probably not, but I'm very glad that I did, and I'm more than happy to recommend that you check it out too. I can completely understand that this game isn't for everyone, but if you have a Game Pass subscription, I strongly urge that you try it out. You might end up enjoying it as much as I did, and I really didn't think that I would. Oh, and if you're looking for more games to play, you can check out my Best of Xbox Game Pass list, where I'm sure you'll find something that's right up your alley. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.